I'm 92 years old. I never thought I would say that sentence out loud. When I was young, old age felt like something that happened to other people. A distant idea, a blurry ending that didn't feel real. And now here I am, sitting quietly with my thoughts, realizing how fast it all moved. If you're watching this, you're probably young, or at least younger than me. And that already puts us on opposite sides of time. You have it. I've used most of mine. I'm not here to scare you. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life. I just need to tell you what I learned too late. Not from books, not from speeches, from living, from mistakes, from regret, from quiet moments that didn't feel important at the time, but now feel like everything. When you're young, people talk about the future like it's guaranteed, like it's waiting patiently for you to arrive. No one tells you how fragile it actually is, how quickly plans change, how silently time moves when you're distracted. I remember thinking I had plenty of time. Time to try things, time to fail, time to fix what went wrong, time to say what mattered later. Later always felt safe. At 92, later feels like a lie I told myself for decades. I've lived long enough to watch the world change many times. Technology changed, values changed, the way people talk, love, work, and dream change. But people themselves didn't change as much as they think. Fear still looks the same. Regret still sounds the same. Love still matters the same. Young people ask big questions. Old people carry quiet answers. The problem is they rarely meet at the right time. So this is me trying to bridge that gap. Old wisdom speaking directly to young questions. Not polished, not perfect, just honest. When I was young, I believed life would begin once I figured everything out, once I chose the right path, the right career, the right person, the right version of myself. I didn't realize then that life doesn't wait for certainty. My first real regret didn't come from a bad decision. It came from hesitation. I was offered a chance to leave my hometown. Nothing dramatic. Just a chance to see more of the world, to learn how other people lived. I was scared. Scared of failing. Scared of being alone. Scared of choosing wrong. So I told myself a story that sounded responsible. I'll do it later. Later never came. That choice didn't hurt right away. That's the trick. Regret doesn't announce itself when it happens. It shows up years later, quietly, when options shrink and courage feels heavier. I stayed where I was. I built a life that made sense on paper. Stable job, predictable routine, respectable choices. And slowly, without realizing it, I traded curiosity for comfort. Comfort can be dangerous. It feels safe. It feels reasonable. But it can also slowly numb you, one day at a time, until you wake up and realize you stopped asking questions years ago. I watched friends do the same. Smart people, kind people, people with potential. They didn't fail. They just settled. And settling doesn't hurt at first. It feels like relief. Until it turns into restlessness you can't explain. Another mistake I made was believing time would soften difficult conversations. I thought if I waited long enough, things would resolve themselves. Feelings would fade. Tension would disappear. People would understand without words. They didn't. Unspoken words don't vanish. They pile up. They turn into distance. Silence. Misunderstanding. I lost relationships without arguments, without dramatic endings, just missed calls, delayed replies, busy weeks that turned into busy years. You don't notice the moment someone becomes a memory. Love is another place where I waited too long. I loved deeply, but I didn't always show it. I assumed people knew. I assumed presence was enough. I assumed there would always be another chance to say more, to do more, to be better. There isn't always. Here's something young people don't like hearing, but need to know. Most regret isn't about what you did wrong. It's about what you never did at all. The apology you delayed, the risk you avoided, the truth you swallowed, the life you postponed. I spent years trying to be responsible, to meet expectations, to avoid disappointing people. And in doing that, I quietly disappointed myself. I didn't ask enough questions. I didn't challenge my own fears. I didn't say, this isn't enough when it mattered. Mistakes are part of life, but avoiding mistakes at all costs can cost you your life anyway. I learned that too late. If I could sit across from my younger self right now, I wouldn't give him a long lecture. I'd give him a few simple truths, practical things, things you can actually use. First, pay attention to what drains you, not what looks bad on the outside. What feels heavy when no one is watching? That tight feeling before work. That exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. That sense that you're constantly performing instead of living. Your body knows when something is wrong long before your mind admits it. Second, don't confuse being busy with being important. I stayed busy for years, always moving, always tired, always feeling behind. But when I look back now, most of that business didn't matter. No one remembers your late nights. No one thanks you for missing dinners. No one rewards you for burning yourself out. But you remember the moments you weren't there. Third, ask yourself uncomfortable questions early. Why am I doing this? Who am I trying to impress? What am I afraid of losing? Most people don't choose the wrong life. They simply drift into one without ever choosing at all. Drifting feels easy until you realize you're far from where you wanted to be. Fourth, say the thing. Say, I love you, while you can hear it back. Say, I'm sorry, without defending yourself. Say, I'm not okay, before it turns into something worse. Unsaid words don't disappear. They stay with you for decades. Fifth, choose people over pride. I won arguments that cost me relationships. And years later, being right felt useless. Ego is loud. Connection is quiet. Guess which one lasts longer? And finally, understand this deeply. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to outgrow dreams. You are allowed to disappoint people. You are allowed to start again. The life you choose at 20 doesn't have to be the life you die with. Waiting until you feel ready is a trap. Ready is a feeling that rarely comes. Action comes first. Clarity follows. I waited too long for permission I never needed. I'm 92 now. My hands shake sometimes. My memory skips details. My world is smaller, quieter. But my understanding of life is clearer than it's ever been. I don't think about success anymore. I think about moments. Did I listen when it mattered? Did I show up when it was uncomfortable? Did I love honestly without conditions? Achievements fade, titles disappear, money gets spent. But how you treated people stays with you. How you treated yourself stays even longer. If you're young, I don't want you to rush. I just don't want you to sleepwalk through your life. Pay attention, be curious, be brave where it counts. One day you'll look back. And I hope you don't say, I waited too long. If this made you uncomfortable, that's okay. Growth usually is. If it made you reflective, sit with that. If it reminded you of someone, reach out now. This channel exists for conversations like this, where old wisdom meets young questions, where time speaks honestly without filters. Subscribe if you want more of that. Reflect on what you heard and apply it while you still can, because time doesn't slow down. Thank you for listening.